back. It's another Wednesday, another rainy Wednesday. I think Sarah's jinxed us on that. So, but it's sunny now. We are coming to you from the Star Hill Downtown Dairy Market Lounge. Correct, Eleanor?
Yeah.
All right. So once again, thank you so much to the folks at Star Hill for hosting us. I am Nathan Wickline. This is Sarah Messer. Say hello, Sarah.
Hello.
You can say hello, Sarah. And Eleanor Von Aiken.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be back.
Eleanor, general manager here at the Dairy Market. Eleanor, the hostess with the mostest last week during our meeting when the fire alarm went off and she told everybody to get out. And I've never seen anyone snap to attention that fast and completely change their demeanor.
Yeah, I think we were out in under 90 seconds. I mean, the building was clear. My team did such a great job. It was just a drill. It was no fire. Everything was fine, but it was really great. My crew just cleared what they were supposed to clear, and everybody got out, and it was great. It was a good experience.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, me and Sarah were like, who is this person? Where did she come from? I mean, she went from being nice, calm Eleanor. Between the second beep of that alarm, she's like, everybody, get out. You gotta go.
Mean.
I was frightened.
No,
as a grown man, I was frightened.
I said yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And I got outside.
Yes, yeah. It was awesome, though. We are joined this week by Mr. John Smith. We all know that's not his real name, but he's going to go by that alias name.
It's not witness protection.
John is joining us. He is with Bankers Insurance here in Charlottesville.
Yes, sir.
He is a member of Station C. You're one of the first members of Station
I think I was the very first one, actually.
All right,
The very first.
This is ground zero here today.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
I don't know if that makes it exciting. But
It does for me.
it's nice to be first once in life.
For
being
the
a
tens
Smith
and
my
tens
whole
of
life.
people.
Yeah, because you're not at either end of the alphabet, so you're always in the middle of the line or last.
Right. So we are going to be picking John's brain about insurance today, learn a little bit about who you are and what you do. So, we always just kind of like to start everything off with just you doing a quick introduction of yourself and who you are and how you got here.
Fantastic. Well, John Smith, I'm with Bankers Insurance. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. My folks are Baltimoreans. I think that's the term. Didn't stay there very long. From my dad wanted to get out of the area, and so we ended up. He joined the military. We moved a bunch. I've lived in a ton of different states. Spent some time in Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, Texas, Alabama. I feel like I'm missing somewhere, but those are all the big stops. Ended up in Northern Virginia. I actually went to 4 different high schools. So, 9th grade in Alabama, 10th and 11th grade we were in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and then finished up in Northern Virginia in Springfield. And so that brought me to Charlottesville for undergrad here at UVA, and outside of a 3-year little run in Northern Virginia, I've been here since '96.
What was your favorite spot? Favorite stop of all the places? You've been to a bunch.
Favorite stop was probably Texas. South of Dallas, Killeen, where Fort Hood is. It was just weather-wise, it was hot, but it's that dry heat.
Yeah.
But it's not Vegas dry heat. It's
Yeah.
So it was fun. We spent a lot of time outside. Just lots of fond memories of there. They all had cool things about them. The only place I wouldn't go back to, and I hope no one's from Alabama, but I would not go back to Alabama, because you take the humidity here and you add it to the Texas heat,
right,
and you multiply it by like 5 million.
Yeah, I'm from New Orleans. It's like when it's hot and humid, it's like breathing through like a wet paper bag.
Yes.
It's like you can't catch your breath. You change your clothes 4 times a day. You always have bad hair day.
yeah, which is, you cut it all off and then you don't have to worry about it. That's what happens. You sweat in your eyes, and then you need a headband. And so
man.
that's, that.
It's the worst. Oh my God. They always say it's not the heat, it's the humidity.
Correct.
Right? It's just,
and driving in, this is one of the funnest things. We're driving in and the PSA comes on, check on your animals, check on your elderly.
Yeah.
And I lean forward in my seat and I tell my Dad, why are we going to this place?
Yeah.
The weather literally kills people here.
Right. Yeah.
This is a terrible idea. We should go back to Maryland where it's, other things kill people. But.
Take your chances, though.
Right.
Yeah.
So you went to, you got here in Virginia, then you came down here to Charlottesville to UVA.
Yeah.
Graduate from UVA, and you say, I got to follow this lifelong dream of selling insurance.
No. Much more circuitous route than that.
How did you get into insurance?
So while I was in school, I worked at the university's phonathon. We were the college kids who called you and asked for money for the university. And so I did that for 3 years. And right before graduation, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I'm not going to say I was the best student, so there weren't people beating down my door to hire me. And the lady who was running the phonathon got married and she moved to Richmond. And so the manager at the time looked at me and the other young lady that were the student managers at the time and said, hey, one of you guys want to run this? And I looked at the other girl and she said, I'm moving to California. And I said, I guess I'm taking this job.
Yeah.
And so I did that for 2 years, and then moved on to State Farm, the big box up on the mountain. Mm-hmm. Did claims for a couple years. Realized getting yelled at every day for 8 hours was not the fun part of insurance.
I did claims for a while.
Oh,
too.
did you? Were you up on the mountain?
No,
or?
It was supplemental insurance, which was like short-term disability.
Oh yeah. Another fun place to be.
Yeah.
Had a buddy who worked his way into sales, and so I followed him to Farmers, which got me back to Northern Virginia. Was up there for 3 years, and then the opportunity I have now at Bankers came available, and moved my family back in 2009, and been here ever since. Yeah. So just meandered there.
Right. Yeah. Like most of us, we just kind of woke up one day and we're like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I always want to work with people.
Yeah.
And I wanted to work with people. Fundraising was fun. But I wanted to do something that was I wouldn't say more substantial, but just do something different in the context of helping people. And now I have that ability. We are the folks who sit down with you and advise you and talk you through protecting your property and the things you've purchased, but not only that, your assets and your well-being long term. And there's so much more to insurance than just car insurance and home insurance and the things we all have to have.
Yeah, like I mentioned, I worked in supplemental insurance for a while for a company here in town that's actually nationwide, and not nationwide. It's nationally wide, and they do unions. They do insurance for unions, mostly transportation unions. And I found that like the most important things to me, the things I did actually like from the job, was really just the helping the individual. Right, the wife whose husband just passed away, or the person that really is hurt and needs to be able to pay their bills, and making sure that they had everything they needed and they were filing the paperwork right, and like, wait, you still have this other policy you can get money from, and those types of things, like that the whole personal help and things like that.
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite story like that you can remember?
It's being on the sales side, I don't get as many of those claims phone calls as I used to, but a couple just wild stories. I had a gentleman call in and he says, "Sir, you're not going to believe this." And I'm like, "Well, I've heard some things. I'm sure I'm going to believe this." And he said, "My car was attacked by vultures." Okay, cool. Sounds like a good time. Where'd this happen? And the power plant over in Richmond runs right down by the river, and guy was down there fishing, He comes back to his vehicle, and it's covered in birds. And they are pulling the gaskets from around the windows, around the door frame. Apparently, if you chew on that, don't recommend it, it has a sweet flavor.
You should try it.
Oh.
Yeah.
The birds have figured this out, and so they attack vehicles. And so, yeah, it's crazy. Now, if you watch, there's insurance commercials on, and there's one particular company that runs claim scenarios now.
Right.
And it's one of the ones they highlighted. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I know that. I know that claim
Yeah.
because I had it twice.
Yeah.
Within 2 weeks, two gentlemen fishing in the same spot, vehicles attacked, and they do massive amounts of damage. I don't know if you've seen a vulture up close, but they're really big birds.
Yeah.
Right.
Very large talons. And so paint's destroyed, several $1,000s worth of damage. And I have a buddy who used to work at the power station over there. I'm like, hey, y'all have a vulture problem? And he's like, oh, yeah, we've got a terrible vulture problem.
No clue.
We shoot fireworks at them to keep them from getting sucked in the machinery.
Oh, wow.
Because if something gets sucked into one of the intakes, they have to shut the machinery down and clean it out and do the thing over again. So that was a fun one.
Yeah.
Had a guy have a cow assault his vehicle. He was driving down a country road, and the cow thought that he wasn't supposed to be there, and so ran headlong into this guy's brand new Cadillac. I'll never forget, because the guy was
A Cadillac?
yeah, it was a Cadillac. Yeah, it just absolutely headbutted his car and then trotted back into the field. So we've had some. I've had some very interesting phone calls. One other one had a lady call, and she said, Hey, John, I'm standing in my mother's house, and I insure her mother's house. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And she's like, well, I can feel the outside breeze because the front of the house is not there anymore. It was shaved off by a tree. So tree falls, takes the whole front of the house off. And so she's standing in the living room, but she's outside. That was a interesting one. We have a lot of trees in the area, and we have a lot of wind events, and it causes a lot of
damage.
a lot of damage. Yeah.
Let me process that.
Cadillac. I liked my Cadillac joke. You didn't like that?
It was great.
Totally a Nathan joke.
Yeah, it was
That was
was
a dad
something.
joke.
It's a dad
It was
one.
something.
It's solid. It's solid. It's solid.
So so you come down here and you go to Bankers. Now, Bankers is unique in a way, right? They're
Very much
they're
so.
big but not. Explain that.
The Bankers Insurance is a collection of local insurance agencies that were purchased by a group of banks. So a few years back, a group of banks got together, some names you know, some of the bigger banks here, local regional banks, pulled money together and started buying local insurance agencies. So the actual agency here in Charlottesville was the Cabell Insurance Agency. And
They go back forever.
yeah, they go back forever. Everybody knows the name. There's buildings over at the university, some of their kinfolks, that sort of thing. And so in small, in areas where the banks had representation, they purchased agencies. And so currently there are around 25 offices across 4 states. We're here in Virginia. We are in West Virginia, North Carolina, and in Tennessee. So it's a very different model from what you normally see because we are local. We're folks from the community, but we have a much larger presence because we have so many offices. I believe one of our executives said a few years back, I think we're top 10 largest insurance agency in Virginia. So,
Wow.
But you'd never know that from, just a few guys here in an office in Charlottesville.
Right. You guys don't have some dude that's doing commercials and
No,
all that good stuff, right?
I don't know if we have the right set of folks to make a commercial work. We do have a little bit of advertising around town. If you fly out the upstairs terminal, we have a poster up with all of our faces on it, and I always. I get a kick when someone sends me a text message like, "Hey, I found you."
There you are.
But that's about as much as we do advertising wise.
So, and you guys, all lines of insurance?
We do everything. I tell folks the only things we don't do are fireworks facilities and spaceships. So if you got a rocket, sorry, we can't help you. But I personally focus on the things in and around your home, your car insurance, your home, your toys, your boats, your jet skis, all the fun stuff you got inside there. We've had to get into figuring out how to do drones because folks have those now. Got a call about, I don't know if you've seen these. They have motor powered surfboards that people are starting to buy.
Yeah,
and so you crank this thing
Seems
up.
like cheating.
Oh yeah, completely.
you go to a lake though, right?
Yeah, and you can ride them on flat water. And then there are several other folks in the office that handle all the other ends of insurance, from health insurance to your commercial buildings, places like this, all of those sorts of things. So we really cover all the bases.
Yeah. What do you think's the oddest thing you've ever had to insure? I mean, you mentioned rockets. You don't do rockets.
Don't do
motorized
rockets
anymore.
Surfboards.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they have, sometimes that goes wrong, and so you don't want that.
Yeah.
Oddest thing. Had a gentleman who was a university professor in the Midwest, and he was working on biological research, and he retired, moved to the Eastern Shore of Virginia, and a couple years after he retired, the university called and said, "Hey, we've got a deep freezer here with a whole bunch of stuff in it, and we don't want it here anymore." Turns out it was every bacteria and disease known to man.
Goodness.
And which is why the university didn't want it in their facility anymore, and they wanted it offsite. And so we have a house insured, and we have this covered. And there's, who knows in this deep freezer. It's good and bad. Yeah, it's exactly how
really bad.
every single zombie movie starts. Is you have all this stuff, and
Electricity goes out.
and here we are.
I love the fact that like, hey Frank, we got this stuff here. It'll kill the world. We just get around. I don't know how you get it out of here.
Oh yeah.
We just want it gone.
Yes, it's
That's
something
insane.
Yeah, and these are some of the phone calls that we get. The more normal things right now, the big hot button issues are people Uber drivering and doing the delivery services, Instacart, things like that, adjusting for those exposures because there are holes in your coverage for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Early on in my career, it was the kid who was driving pizzas. But now we have that times 1,000 in the world. And, if you're doing that, I'm not going to ask, but talk to your insurance agent.
Yeah.
You may have holes in your coverage. I was riding with an Uber driver in DC one time, and I was asking him questions, and he actually had an issue. Client opens the door, car comes by in DC, takes the door off. He didn't have the right coverage, and so his insurance carrier did not want to pay to put the door back on his car. And he was a little miffed about it, but I took some time to explain to him while we were riding across town that if you don't have the right coverage, driving essentially commercially or driving for hire is not covered on a personal insurance policy. Same thing with your homes, Airbnb. That's another huge issue, the VRBO. It's something that the industry is currently adjusting for to make sure that we have all the right things in place. Because let's be honest, you're running a hotel out of your house. Now, interestingly enough, that's always been covered. Think about it. Back in the day, there were no hotels. Right. There were no motels. Where'd you stay when you traveled?
At somebody else's house.
Somebody else's house. And so there's language in there for that scenario. The industry just wasn't ready for the internet to allow folks to do it on a massive scale.
Right.
And so that's changed the industry a bit.
Yeah.
What about, so this, older guy, so I'm like, this is a brand new thing. It's probably 5 years old. Everybody's been doing it, but it's what's it called? Turo? Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
So, how do you insure? Does it follow the driver? That's got to be a nightmare for you guys.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Right.
And one of my clients, as of right now, when one of my clients calls me and asks me about it, I say, don't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
For folks that don't know, Turo is an app where you basically just rent your car. It's like
Yeah, you let somebody else take your car. That was actually one of my questions, was because I know in Virginia laws are different with insurance and letting somebody borrow your car. But apparently this one, do you pay for it?
Yeah, I can go on there right now because I went and looked. It's like,
Nobody's driving my
there's
car.
a Tesla right there. I can do it for
you
80
can
bucks a
borrow
day.
it.
Renting out Sylvia. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I've got the Batmobile outside, and no, I'm not letting anybody ride in the Batmobile.
Yeah. So,
So here in Virginia, if you let someone borrow your car, you're letting them borrow your insurance. So if they take your car and wreck your car, you now have a problem because that claim goes on your record, which would affect your rates going forward. And so I generally advise my clients not to let people borrow their cars. And I'm glad you brought that up because I have a friend, and hopefully he watches this podcast and he knows who he is. He called me one time asking for insurance advice, and he was doing his own personal version of Turo. He had an extra vehicle, and he was letting people borrow it. Well, first time worked out great. Second time worked out great. The third time,
that's the charm.
the person took the vehicle to Colorado and wrecked it.
Oof.
And he's like, well, what do I do? And I'm like, there's nothing you can do. You can call a claimant and say it was stolen, but it wasn't. You gave it to her.
Yeah.
So that's not going to work. And so since the person stole the vehicle, there's no point in suing them because you're not going to get any money there. And so he was out of the vehicle. Yeah. So yes, please don't Turo your cars and until we come out with something for that particular app. It's too new.
It seems just crazy to do.
I mean, we all do it.
Yeah.
You know, you're at a party, everybody's parked in,
Yeah.
someone's behind someone, you toss them your keys. Hey, can you move my car? That's fine.
Yeah.
You can do that. You let when I go and
Roommate
visit my
borrow it
parents
for a minute.
Right. I go and visit my parents. They don't like to drive anymore, so I become the chauffeur when I'm in town, and so they toss me the keys and I drive. But beyond those scenarios, you really have to be careful with that, or you should be careful. You don't have to. You can do anything you want. And
I learned my lesson in my senior year in high school. I had a Jeep CJ7.
Oh, wow.
And we were at a party at a local motel. And a couple guys I
normal.
know,
There was really
couple
only
guys,
two of
couple
them.
guys, one of the guys you may have been married to at one point.
I'm sure my ex-husband was involved in this.
Can we borrow your Jeep?
Love you,
We're going to
babe.
be right back. We'll be right back. And that was at like 11. At 7 in the morning, they show up. My Jeep, you can't even see what color it is. They took it down to the river, got it stuck in the river, had to have 2 tow trucks come and get it.
Oh, wow.
And then they brought it back like that to me and said, hey, man, sorry it took so long. I was like, oh, we need to have a discussion. It was just covered in mud.
Well,
It's just inside and out.
They didn't
may have
they didn't
actually
flood it out though. It was okay though, right?
It's Cracker and Doug.
Yeah.
Not naming names.
I'm naming names. I'm naming names.
His name
It's
is
on the record.
Brian. We are a live broadcast.
That's phenomenal.
It's what he calls himself, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, so those 2 guys did that too. I would never loan my car out again, ever. But awesome. So, but let's say I've done the Turo thing or I've loaned my car out and somebody's in Colorado. You have been posting about something that seems like it's near and dear to your heart, which is an umbrella policy. Would that help us in that situation or not?
No.
Or when would it help?
Umbrella policy is unfortunately it's not going to help with that. The umbrella is for liability. And so additional liability insurance above and beyond what your base policies do. So a normal homeowner's policy is going to cover up to $500,000 worth of damage or injury. So I'll give you another real world example. We're having a cookout. 2 kids throwing a football. One of the kids decides to catch the football with his eye. Don't recommend it. Does damage. The claim itself to get the eye fixed, he lost partial vision, $750,000 when it was all said and done. Well, your standard policy pays up to $500,000. We're short $250,000. What do we do? That's where your umbrella comes in. Same thing in vehicles. We're riding in a car. We're riding in your CJ. Someone slams into the back of us. We all roll out and do the neck, back, my neck and my back.
Yeah.
And we're in
It's a song, I think, too, right?
Yeah. That's
I wasn't actually going there.
I was thank you for tuning in week 5.
It's a Friday reference. It was Friday. Ezel in the store. You know what you can get for a slip and fall in the store? No? Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
I got you, John.
And you know, we're out of work. You have doctor's bills. You have physical therapy, all those things. And we actually have a coworker whose son did that very thing. Uh-huh. And the claim ended up being settled at $1.2 million. Unfortunately, nowadays, cars are really expensive. Yeah. The average cost of vehicles has doubled in the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. And fixing people has gone up 10 to 15 times. I'm not sure what the number is on that, but it's expensive. Yeah. And that is what that is for. Yeah. Those scenarios. Extraordinary losses. And also, and I mentioned when we were chatting earlier, protecting assets. Mm-hmm. Here in Virginia, the only thing that cannot be taken from you are your retirement accounts. So you think about everything else you've worked so hard your life for, your home, your vacation home, your vehicles, all your longer burger baskets or whatever it is you collect. You know, and you go out and you have a car accident and you have a $2 million judgment against you. That's where, you know, these sorts of things come into play. And that's where really we're in the business of protecting people's livelihood. And you know, we don't always see it that way.
So I guess we only have a few more minutes.
Sure.
And is there any last questions before we ask the stinger of a question this week?
Not the one I talked to you about, right?
John, no,
Okay.
no, I heard a little bit something about basketball.
Basketball.
You might be
basketball.
sort of a big deal at basketball.
No, that is not how that came out. So in my free time, I love competition. I love sports. My youngest daughter plays soccer. My middle son is a wrestler at the high school, so I'm helping out with the wrestling team.
Coaching?
Little coaching, getting back on the mat, which I haven't done in 20 years, which is weird because I'm realizing that there's muscles
That's right.
that I haven't used in a really long time. But for me, my exercise is I play pickup ball I try to play with guys my own age. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, there are younger people in the mix, and we try to avoid the younger people because they always end up getting us old guys hurt because we don't move as fast or jump as high as we used to. But yes, I play a lot of pickup basketball, and since we're talking about this, I did have a game that I played in recently that I shot 100%.
Whoa! Yeah. 1 for 1.
I didn't take that many shots. It was more than one. But I did shoot 100%. So you know, for all the basketball heads out there, your boy got 100% game.
That's wrong. Double
with witnesses.
So my big question of the week, since we're talking about insurance and all those things, is what keeps us positive or healthy in our lives day to day? Something that, you know, you kind of, you know, try to focus on or do for yourself to get yourself healthy and balanced and centered and positive.
You looking at me?
Yes.
Wow.
Do you have one yet?
What keeps me centered and balanced?
Besides bourbon.
Yeah.
It's a good coping mechanism. Yes.
Nathan likes bourbon.
Should we answer it for each other?
No.
Oh. I don't know if you know that?
You always have
I'm
an
just
answer for
saying, Nathan is a great, cheerful guy. And if I'm, you know, the first thing Nathan says to me in the morning is, it's going to be a great day.
It's a great day to be great.
It's a great day to be great.
But why that?
Because it is. Because you got to. This is what controls everything. What's in between the ears? So
there's the answer to your question.
Yeah.
You started there.
Giving yourself positive affirmations.
Just me being terrific, I guess, is what does it. I mean, if you're going to put me in a corner.
Wow.
So recently I've really tried to just find those moments and just relax. I have a tendency to get real wound up and tight. Yeah. Just recognize that, right, I'm a little tight right now. Just take a deep breath. Let everything kind of go for a minute. And
we were talking about golf before the podcast and why we like golf. I mean, I'm freaking horrible, but I really love playing golf, have my own clubs and everything.
Yeah.
And what I said about golf was that, like, when you're on the course, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, what's going on at work. You have to not focus on anything but that green, that ball, the way your body's standing, how your swing's going to go, what club you're going to use. I mean, it makes you so focused on one in particular thing that it really does help you kind of relax and feel positive and healthy. Even when
never
you swing
play golf with us.
No. I mean, drinking and stuff is really
Throwing clubs.
no, but I mean, but like I always felt like golf anger was like a good anger, right? Like the frustration of it, because it's like you just can't think about anything else.
I feel like you always feel
have
good
to be
after a
there.
round.
You do, even if it's a horrible round and you haven't done any. You stop counting at 10 strokes.
Unless I'm playing with Michael Brand and Dean Robbins, having those jinxes, they ruin me. I can never play a great round.
I really need to go play golf soon. I think.
So do you start your day with golf?
Oh, I wish I did. We were just talking. I was like, oh, that's what I need. I need to go play golf.
You
Teeing
can always
off
in the
at 2:10
morning,
tomorrow.
take a couple swings.
I got a gift card for Boar's Head right now.
There you go.
Foursome. Let's go.
You're my new best friend. Let's go.
New best friend. It's fine. Flip out other people.
Emma.
What do you
Oh
do?
man, well I'm like Nathan. I get real tense and angry. So
She really does. It's weird.
I really do. These last few weeks I've been setting an alarm for 20 minutes.
Oh.
In those 20 minutes, I can't look at a screen. I either sit and just look outside or read a book. And it's been
Little
good.
you
Yeah,
time.
just to kind of
Yeah.
relax,
Yeah.
breathe, take it all in and reset.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. In 20 minutes, you can always find 20 minutes.
Yeah. So, in thinking about, staying positive, and I've been known to be a cheery guy, maybe the life of the party type guy. It's thinking about the positives in all things, because as I was saying, and we were kind of talking about earlier, when you're younger, and being competitive and being in athletics, winning is what we always focused on. If I won my match today, or if I won the basketball game today, then I'm going to be happy. And if I lost, then I'm frustrated and I'm upset. But you're not going to win all the time.
Yeah.
And it's something that you understand as you get older. And from sports, I learned, hey, we're not going to win all the time, but I can still have a good time. My high school wrestling coach used to say, we spell fun, W-I-N, and I lived that way for a really long time. And then I get into sales and realize, well, even if I'm the best version of myself every day and I put the best thing out in front of my client, we're only going to win 40% of the time.
Yeah.
But what I realized from watching, you watch basketball, and I love Steph Curry. I love Steph Curry. I mean, half-court shots, just heaving them up there, making it look easy. He's an all-star. Every year, he shoots 40%. So if he can be one of the most famous basketball players in the world shooting 40%, I should be pretty excited if I'm anywhere near 40% in what I do. And so focusing on the positive end of things is kind of how I keep a smile on my face.
Well, we love that
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love John.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Well, if you want more of John Smith, will you be at the house thing this evening, the open house?
I have soccer practice tonight, and afterwards I'm going to play poker.
I love poker too. We really should be friends.
Yes,
Apparently
100%.
we have lots of things in
we
common.
golf,
Poker, drinking.
Do you drink bourbon?
Bourbon.
Okay, we're all in.
She's from NOLA. Come on.
Oh yeah, so we're all in. Yeah, no, absolutely. So I won't see you guys tonight for the festivities, but
So that was going to be an amazing segue.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
thanks a lot. Worked and I ruined it. I'm sorry.
I'm very excited
Wow.
about this house tour and all the activities planned this evening. I am so excited.
5:30.
It's gorgeous.
Is it? What's the
Belmont,
address?
227 Spruce Street.
227 Spruce Street. Come on out. Ben and the guys have built an amazing house out there in Belmont. It is gorgeous. It is like
Stunning,
nothing else
to
that's
say the
out there.
least.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
stunning.
And then taking over Belmont with a huge group of people walking
Right.
down.
Walking down.
Go from so for everyone that's involved with Station C, it's the open house, and then we'll be going over to the Crescent,
Southern.
Southern
Crescent.
New
Northern
Orleans
Crescent
Bar.
is not the one we're going to; it's the Southern.
Yeah.
We'll be there, and then for the the members of Station C, I guess then they're going to be heading over to the Whitley Strings concert. So it's
Yeah,
going to be pretty
JPJ.
exciting.
Yeah.
At the JPJ.
It's going to be such an amazing night.
It's going to be fun. So come on out. Station C is next week, Star Hill?
No.
The week after.
Oh, the week. Yes, next week is the Star Hill will be hosting the podcast. Yeah.
So next week, next Wednesday, we'll be back here with folks at Star Hill to tell you about St. Patrick's Day and all the good beers they make and how to drink it. And we'll
Sounds
keep
awesome.
our bourbon in our mugs and we'll have a good time.
We're working on the March event on a night when John Smith can come.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for being the problem.
It's not at all. We love it.
It's the first member. We got to work
We got it.
It's not that.
Bit of a diva.
I created these situations 15 and 9 years ago, and I was a part of that, and it's great, and they're awesome, and they're great kids, and they just have a lot going on, and I love being a part of it. My body doesn't always love being a part of it, but I love being a part of it.
Well, thanks for coming. This was really a
Appreciate
fun
it.
time.
All right, kids. Well, Station C, episode 5 of C Chat is in the